Howdy, friends. Steve DePoe with the Rose Realty team with this week's real estate vlog for North Texas. Before we get started, we ask you to go to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Let's Do Real Estate Texas. There's no charge, but you will be alerted to updates and changes to our series Spotlight on Community, Focus on Small Business, and of course, our weekly real estate updates on North Texas. Thank you. Let's get started. Today's topic, rent increases in major U.S. cities. But before we get started, today is February 18th. We're going to do a podcast of this week's vlog next Monday, the 21st. I'm going to be live on Facebook. You look up my Facebook account, Steve DePoe, and there'll actually be reminders and event reminders out there. Hope to see you. Come on over and ask some questions. We've had some success with this the last month or so. It's actually been a lot of fun. We've been getting some good questions, and I'm really enjoying it. So come by on the 21st, Monday the 21st, 8:00 a.m. Look for the event reminder. Anyway, again, rent increases in major U.S. cities. So what's going on here? So the rent right now is rising faster for renters than it was before the pandemic started, let's say 2+ years ago, okay? So rent is rising faster. Now that turns out to be a problem on many different levels. I mean, forget the fact that, you're renting and now it's going up and you don't own the property and you can't do anything to the house. I mean, to the house or to the apartment. And so your rent keeps on going up and it's not yours and you don't own it, those kinds of things. But it also is beginning to cause a problem by sort of, let's say, pricing some people out of affordability. Okay, they can't afford a nicer place to rent. Maybe so maybe they can't afford a home of their own, but they also then can't afford a nicer place to rent in a nicer neighborhood with good schools and those kinds of things. Okay. Rent rented last October. So October of 2021, rent alone in October went up 3.1%. Okay. That's nationwide. And so it's hurting a lot of people. And it's frankly, it's an issue, but it's not going up every place. It's sort of a weighted average, you may want to call it, naturally, right? But rent is going up specifically in places like Phoenix and Tucson, Charlotte, Dallas, and Austin. Now let's take a look at these areas and see why. Well, these areas are growing in terms of businesses. Tucson and Phoenix is growing because there's a low corporate income tax rates and no income tax rates for individuals. So people are kind of flocking to those areas. Same thing for Austin and Dallas, right? Where there's no income tax, there's no state income tax, and I know Greg Abbott, the governor, has made deals and stuff and whatnot with companies to come here. Like Samsung is the latest win, and so as we bring companies here to work in a better environment, okay, then that means people are going to come here. Either people are going to come here from that companies where they used to be located, to come to Texas, or they're going to come from other parts of the country to say, hey, I want to work for Samsung in Austin or in Texas, and they kind of come along. So it's the state or the city or the county is a business friendly environment. They come here. That means that the workers come here, professional or not, workers come here, and then that means a housing shortage and rent goes up, and then also price of housing goes up. Rent growth in these cities, the rent growth is higher. Homeowners' property values are increasing as well, and it can also create an affordability issue, like I said a couple slides ago, not only for home renters or renters of homes and apartments, but also for people who want to buy. That could potentially cause a affordability issue. So the good news though is the market is strong, right? All the numbers are indicating that rentals remain strong. So if you're an investor, that's, FYI, hint, hint, as an investor, if you want to get into investing in real estate, not to flip, but, to buy something that's in good condition, maybe needs a coat of paint, and then you rent it out, there's a perfect opportunity to make some passive income. There are issues. Let's be honest about it. I'm a landlord. We own several properties, and renting out and being a landlord isn't the greatest thing in the world. And there were different ways to handle it. You can pass it kind of off to a rental agency kind of thing, or handle it yourself to save some money. But that means you're constantly running out to fix the faucet or the garbage disposal, et cetera, right? But so we've got strong markets, and the markets where business and employment is the strongest, then also at the same time hits the housing market in terms of affordability and rising prices and rising rates the most. Okay. So that's not to say, hey, don't come to the North Texas, or don't go to Austin, or don't go to Phoenix or Tucson or whatnot. But just be prepared and understand that an investment, whether it's your personal home or a rental property, has a better than even chance of making you more money and increasing your wealth and adding value to your portfolio. Next week, some cheap I hate the word cheap, some inexpensive do-it-yourself projects that you can take on your own. This is Steve DePoe for the Rose Realty team. I'm going to bounce.